Ever given your partner that "I'm fine" response while silently radiating tension, like a cat that flicks its tail? Yeah? Guilty. Hi, beautiful. Welcome back to my channel, Imperfectly Unfolding. My name is Shabina, and today we're talking about that silent vibe, that cold shoulder, where we don't say what's really going on, but we definitely act like something is. Why we do this and how do we resolve this? We become like the human version of a cat ignoring you. You're in the same room, technically, but emotionally, you left the building. We cross our arms, we give one word answers, we avoid eye contact with our partners and think, he should know what I'm feeling. But let's be honest, most of the time, he doesn't know. He has no clue. And sometimes we're not even 100% sure ourselves, but we know that something's off or we hurt. So why do we do this? Why do we go silent instead of speaking up? It's not about being manipulative. When we really get to the root of the issue, it's about protection. We're scared we won't be heard. We want to avoid conflict, or we've been dismissed so many times before, it just feels easier to pull away than try again. And sometimes we're waiting to feel safe enough to speak. Why doesn't it work? Silence doesn't bring you closer. It creates more distance. And the longer we sit in it, the harder it becomes to reconnect. The tension keeps building. We play guessing games. And in the end, both people end up feeling hurt and misunderstood. I'm guilty of this too. In the past, for example, I'd come home excited to share something great that happened to me with my husband. He'd be in the middle of doing something, totally focused on that, and I'd burst in with my story. And his response? Totally focused on whatever he was doing. He didn't look up to acknowledge what I was saying, and that would result in me sort of deflating like a balloon and walking away. He'd then say, "What happened?" And I'd respond with, "Nothing." Then he'd ask, "Everything okay?" And I'd say, "Everything is fine." Except it wasn't. I felt unseen, unheard. And instead of telling him that, I'd turn into that cat that just flicks its tail and ignores you. I would then continue with these short responses to whatever he was saying, and I'd notice the perplexed look he would give me. In my mind, I thought, he should know why. It's so obvious. In the end, after many days of this, I would have to explain to him why I was behaving the way I had been. Cold shoulder, short answers. I then put more thought into why men do this. Men are wired differently than women, not just because of biology, but it could also be because of how they were raised. While many women are taught to process emotions through connection and conversation, men tend to focus more on logic and problem solving. The male brain biologically tends to compartmentalize meaning, emotions, and language may not be as deeply connected. So when we go silent, hopefully hoping they'll get it, they often feel confused or shut out. And it's not because they don't care, but because they literally process emotional cues differently. So what do we do instead? especially when we're not ready to talk but don't want to disconnect. Here are a few things that have helped me. Say you need space, but not forever. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I need a moment, but I do want to talk later. Name the emotion, even if it's messy. I feel hurt and I'm trying to figure out what's going on inside of me. Or I feel hurt because I felt when I was trying to say this to you, you weren't listening to me or you didn't see me. Write it down too if it feels too difficult to speak about. Sometimes journaling helps put down those emotions before you speak it. And if your partner is safe and emotionally available, lean into repair, not blame. Be curious, not being accusatory. Did I even pronounce that right? Anyway, sometimes it's deeper. One thing I do need to stress is that if you're in a relationship with a narcissist or someone who constantly gaslights you, expressing your emotions might feel like walking into a trap. And in that case, your silence may actually be self-preservation. If you feel unsafe, unheard, or constantly blamed, then it's not just about communication skills. It may be time to look at the bigger picture of the relationship. A professional therapist or counselor would be helpful here. Again, I'm not here to give you any medical advice, but here are a few signs that your partner may not be responding well to healthy communication. 1, consistent deflection. They regularly turn conversations around to make issues about you instead of addressing their behavior. 2, dismissive responses. They minimize your concerns with phrases like, you're overreacting, or it's not that serious. 3, patterns of defensiveness. They immediately become defensive before you've even fully explained your feelings. 4, stonewalling. They shut down completely, give you the silent treatment, or walk away when you're trying to discuss issues. 5, rewriting history. They deny things that actually happened or claim you've remembered things incorrectly. 6, punishing vulnerability. When you've opened up in the past, they've used your vulnerabilities against you later. 7, emotional retaliation. After difficult conversations, they withdraw affection or become passive aggressive. 8, lack of accountability. They rarely, if ever, apologize or acknowledge their role in the problems. 9, escalation tactics. They escalate minor discussions into major arguments to avoid addressing the original issue. 10, explosive anger. They respond to feedback with disproportionate anger that makes you afraid to bring up issues. So please pay attention to this and seek help if you need. So yes, I've used cold shoulders in the past, but I've been working on improving my communication. I sometimes still get caught up in this cat ignoring vibe, hoping he'd figure it out. And so what I do now is I take a few moments to remind myself that for my sense of peace and my happiness, I need to be vulnerable, because with all that I've gone through in my life, vulnerability is the bridge to healing. Being emotionally honest is scary, especially if you've experienced past challenges or wounds, but silence is a slow poison. Your silence may protect you in the short term, But your voice, that's what builds the bridge back to connection. And let's be honest, your partner's not a psychic. He's just wondering why you're giving him the cat stare. If you've ever given or received that cat energy, that I'm fine, drop a cat emoji in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's laugh about it. And then let's learn how to do better together. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real talk about imperfectly unfolding. Until the next time, from my heart to yours, have a wonderful day. Bye.